Welcome to The Explainer, everyone. Look, I am absolutely thrilled to bring you today's breakdown, because what we just witnessed at the Estadio BBVA in Monterrey was, honestly, nothing short of a footballing hurricane. We're looking at a match where Sweden completely and utterly dismantled Tunisia. We are talking relentless attacking, absolute long-range stunners, jaw-dropping substitutions, and an offensive storm that just tore right through the Tunisian defense.
5-1? I mean, wow. While the rest of the footballing world had their eyes glued to the drama of the Netherlands versus Japan match in this exact same group, this absolute thrashing was unfolding. A 5-1 victory on the World Cup stage, that sends a massive shockwave through the entire tournament. So let's break down exactly how this rout happened.
Section 1. Pre-match stakes and stars.
Okay, let's dive into this. You really have to understand the context here before we look at the goals. Sweden hasn't been to a World Cup in 12 years. 12. This is their first massive comeback since 2002. They actually had a really rough qualifying patch, but former Chelsea and Brighton manager Graham Potter stepped in, completely steadied the ship, and dragged them through this highly dramatic playoff win against Poland. So, the expectations and the pressure were just immense. Before the first whistle even blew, the strategic contrast between these two was incredibly stark. Graham Potter built this Swedish side around sheer undeniable attacking firepower. For them, it's all about high momentum and just overwhelming the opposition. Tunisia, on the other hand, they came into this tournament with a strict defensive priority. Their entire game plan relied on staying compact, absorbing that pressure, and frustrating the opponent.
And well, when we look at the specific matchups, the tale of the tape is terrifying if you're a Tunisian defender. Sweden unleashed Alexander Isak, literally the Premier League's top scorer, alongside Viktor Gyokeres, the Champions League top scorer. That is a nightmare duo. It's like a cheat code. Up against them, Tunisia relied heavily on goalkeeper Abdul Mohib Chamakh and Manchester United's Hannibal Mejbri in the midfield to somehow anchor their defensive core.
Section 2. First half. Sweden strikes.
So, with the battle lines drawn, it did not take long for Sweden to strike. We're talking barely 7 minutes into the match, and Sweden takes the lead in just the most spectacular way possible. Viktor Gyokeres fires off this powerful shot from outside the box. The Tunisian goalkeeper Chamakh manages to make the initial save, but the ball spills loose, and Brighton winger Yasin Ayari is right there. He pounces on the mistake and just unleashes a thunderous first-time long-range shot straight into the top corner. Chamakh had absolutely no chance. Boom, 1-0 to Sweden.
But notice what happens next. Ayari scores this phenomenal World Cup goal, but his celebration is completely muted. It's totally respectful. As Ayari later explained, he said, "My heart was on both sides, but I feel bad for Tunisia, my father's country." It just adds this really heavy, beautiful, emotional weight to the opening moments of the match, you know? It's easily one of the most touching personal stories we've seen in this entire tournament.
Returning to the tactical side of things, we really have to talk about what makes Sweden so incredibly dangerous. It basically boils down to this Isak Gyokeres telepathy. These two guys, they don't just play together, it's like they anticipate each other's every single move. It's a lethal partnership where one provides the perfectly weighted assist and the other finishes with clinical precision. As a defense, you simply cannot afford to give them even an inch of space.
And right on cue, in the 30th minute, that telepathy strikes. Gyokeres drops back into the midfield and threads an absolutely brilliant, perfectly weighted through ball. Isak times his run flawlessly, goes one-on-one with Chamakh, and just delivers this crisp, low shot right into the far corner. 2-0. Now actually, it must be said Chamakh probably should have done a bit better here. The ball kind of slipped right under his hand. Just a slight goalkeeping error, but it punished Tunisia severely.
But hey, credit to Tunisia. They refused to just roll over. Right before halftime, in the 43rd minute, Hannibal Mejbri whips this teasing cross in from the left side. Omar Rakik makes a perfectly timed run and connects with a beautiful glancing header that just leaves the Swedish keeper totally stranded. 2-1. Suddenly, the whole match opens up, and as the teams head into the tunnel, there's this genuine feeling that, wait, Tunisia might actually pull off a second-half comeback here.
Section 3. Second half. Total domination.
Well, any hope of a Tunisian comeback was completely obliterated. Things went from highly competitive to just pure chaotic domination by Sweden. The floodgates opened in the 59th minute, and this brilliantly illustrates exactly how Tunisia shot themselves in the foot. Step 1. Chamakh rolls the ball out to his midfielder, Elias Shaqiri. Step 2. Shaqiri takes an incredibly clumsy touch, just leaving the ball completely loose.
Step 3, Isak instantly pounces on the error and squares it. And Step 4, Gyokeres arrives for a confident, crisp finish. 3-1. Making unforced errors like this in your own defensive third, that is completely unacceptable at the World Cup level, and Sweden punished it mercilessly.
Fast forward to the 84th minute. Graham Potter decides, you know what? Let's make a late substitution. He brings on midfielder Mattias Svanberg. Now, normally, an 84th minute sub when you're up 3-1 is just about killing time and resting some legs, right? But what happens next is just literally unbelievable.
18. It took exactly 18 seconds for Mattias Svanberg to make an impact. 18 seconds. On his very first touch of the entire World Cup, after a brilliant cross from Isak on the right side, Svanberg sweeps the ball into the back of the net without a single moment of hesitation. 4-1 to Sweden. Honestly, it is one of the most hilariously brilliant instant impact substitutions you are ever going to see in football.
To put that into some historical context for you, that 18-second magic makes Svanberg only the third substitute in Sweden's entire World Cup history to score a goal. For the trivia fans out there watching, the first was actually Glenn Stromberg way back in 1990 against Scotland. Svanberg just wrote his name into the history books with his very first touch of the tournament. Incredible.
So now we are deep into stoppage time. 96th minute. The match is entirely over. But guess what? Yasin Ayari wasn't finished. He picks up the ball at the edge of the box. There's no real pressure on him, and he just decides to let it fly. Another thunderous long-range strike, and you could argue this one was even better than his first, perfectly placed into the far corner. The absolute final dagger. 5-1. And you know what I love about this? This time, there was no muted reaction. The sheer undeniable beauty of that strike, and the realization that he just put on a 2-goal masterclass in his World Cup debut, it totally overtook him. Ayari drops the muted act and breaks into a full emotional celebration. Just a truly memorable way to cap off an incredible individual performance.
Section 4. Final analysis and standings.
The referee finally blows the whistle, putting Tunisia out of their misery. To really unpack the damage and see exactly what this result means for the rest of the tournament, we can look at how the 6 goals of the match were distributed. Now, what's really interesting about these numbers is just how staggering the Swedish breakdown is. You have the deadly duo of Isak and Gyokeres contributing 1 apiece, completely living up to the pre-match hype. You've got the 18-second miracle from Svanberg. And then, taking up the largest slice of the Swedish pie, Ayari with his 2 incredible long-range strikes. Rakik grabs the lone piece for Tunisia in what was ultimately just a consolation prize.
And here is the immediate aftermath. Because the Netherlands and Japan battled to a draw, Sweden's massive victory catapults them to the very top of Group F with 3 points. They are the standalone group leaders right now, and with a goal differential of +4, they firmly established themselves as the new heavy favorites to win this group. No question about it.
So the crucial point is this: Sweden is a massive threat. We learned that the Isak Gyokeres partnership is authentically world-class and arguably the most dangerous in the entire tournament. We witnessed Ayari's beautiful human story scoring against his father's homeland. We saw Tunisia's tragic goalkeeping and defensive errors under pressure, and of course we are never going to forget Svanberg's 18-second magic. Bottom line, Graham Potter has created an absolute monster of a team. Before we wrap up, I really want to hear from all of you. What was your goal of the match? Was it Ayari's emotional opening stunner, his stoppage time masterpiece, or Svanberg's unbelievable 18-second debut magic? Think about it, and hey, keep that energy high, because next up in our Explainer series, we're going to break down the dramatic, high-stakes draw between the Netherlands and Japan. You definitely won't want to miss it. Keep learning, keep analyzing, and I'll see you in the next one.